man. Because when you
It
wear
looks good.
headphones, yeah.
It looks good. Hey, Fitri. So, hey man, thanks for
Hello,
taking the
hi, yeah,
time.
yeah, sure thing, man. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so basically, we are doing a quick chat just to really get to know you. And I believe you have a very interesting story to tell. And I think, being one of the people in our community, really wanted to hear your story and hear your message, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can share with us, about you. Tell us what you do and why do you do what you do. What's your journey been so far?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll just start from the very, well, not really very beginning, but everyone starts sort of like after college and stuff like that, right? So for me, myself, I'm actually a postgraduate mechanical engineer. So I did my degree here in Malaysia, actually. So I did it somewhere in Putrajaya. And then right after degree, I decided I should do my master's instead because at that time, just having a degree wasn't really enough to get a job. So that's why I kind of like decided, okay, I'm gonna go get a master's as well then. So I did my master's in Manchester in the UK for a year. Did it in mechanical engineering design, and then as soon as I graduated and I came back, COVID happened, and so I couldn't land a job at all in engineering. I tried to apply when I was there in the UK, but couldn't get a job as well because over there they had like really how do you say, like a lot of stuff that they needed to pass through, like you needed to have a visa and everything, so getting a sponsored visa for you to be able to work in the UK was not easy. So that was one. And then yeah, they weren't just it wasn't easy for them to actually hire foreigners, so that's why I couldn't land a job there. So I was actually supposed to stay there until I can't remember, a few months. I think a bit 3 months more, I think around 3 or 6 months more. But then COVID happened, and then decided to go back instead. So I went back, came back to Malaysia, couldn't land a job at all in engineering. So stayed at home for a bit because the lockdown and everything. And then I'm not trying to recall everything. Somewhere along the way, decided to do a podcast because I was just tired sitting at home. So I have a podcast as well. It's called Kongsi Podcast. Shameless plug, but hey,
Nice.
yeah, it's called Kongsi. If anyone wants to give it a listen. Um, and then while in the midst of doing that, I actually got an opportunity as well to do a bit of IT work. So my first IT work was just helping put up PCs in the government office. Specifically, it was for KDN, which is Kementerian Dalam Negeri, which is Homeland. I can't remember the Homeland Department. I think that's the English translation. I'm not too sure, but Kementerian Dalam Negeri lah. So it was in Putrajaya. So I helped people. I helped the staff there to put up PCs. Yeah, I learned a lot there. Learned a lot as in how our government works, which was not gonna, shame them or anything. But yeah, just wanted to let you know they were still some of the computers there were still running Windows XP. Yeah, yeah. So,
Wow.
yep, yep. Um, and then right after that, moved from the Kementerian Dalam Negeri, did a bit of more work for the Air Force, Royal Air Force. So I did more government work for that as well, putting up PCs again. And then jumped from there to there, and then I got a job working for a company that was under a contract for HP. So started fixing. I was a so-called break fix engineer, so I helped to fix HP products. So I went to either houses or enterprise buildings like offices to help them like troubleshoot, and then as well as apply fixes to HP products, mostly computers, desktops, and laptops, not printers though. Yeah, a lot of people kept asking me like, do you do printers as well? I don't. So yeah, and then after that, MCO 2.0 hit, and then I was out of the job again. Out of the job, but then the same company that I did HP, the company that hired me, that had a contract with HP, the manager there sort of like invited me to try and do real estate instead. So I've been doing that for the past now it's May, right? So for the past 5 months, then yeah, I've been doing real estate. So I've been trying to sell houses. I've helped my colleagues sell houses, but I haven't landed one myself. So I haven't managed to sell one, but I'm hoping to get one soon because usually real estate you only just need that one big break, man. You only need one big break, and then I'm not gonna make it sound so money hungry, but one big break and that's all the money that you need for the next 1 year, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so that's kind of my story so far. Yeah, so I'm there. So TLDR, I'm just a real estate guy who's really good in um IT with a background in mechanical engineering. Oh, and I've recently ventured into videography and photography as well. So yeah, that's because real estate needs a lot of photos and everything. I've photography sort of has been like a side hobby of mine, so I'm putting that to use as well. So overall, I think my path of life has been quite interesting because everything that I've done since I was small have slowly built up to what I am today, and I'm really trying to put to use whatever I've learned so far now. So I'm also in THC learning coding as well. Yeah, just to add up to that. Yeah, and because Fitri likes to do a lot of things, now he has a lot on his plate. So yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I can totally relate, and I think what's very interesting to hear about your story is the ability for you to learn many different things. Like
Mm,
now we're in COVID world, right, where we just need to learn so many things. And for yourself, if I can understand your journey, you're a mechanical engineer who became an IT technical consultant, hardware engineer,
mhm.
for government, and then became a videographer and real estate agent, and you run
Yes.
your
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
To me, that's I think it sounds a lot, but the interesting thing I can see about your story to people is the fact that you can do so many things, like the ability to learn so many things. And this is what the future is all about. The future is so uncertain,
True.
right?
True.
So
Yeah.
you have to be able to upskill in so many areas. Now, if people want to follow in your footsteps, I mean, how do they become a multitasker like what you are? I mean, the way I see it, you're a multitasker. What would you say is the number one skill, to multitask and multi-learn?
I think it all depends on your passion, I guess. Yeah, your passion and what you put your time into. So I mean, I could say, um, yeah, it's your passion and your passion and your curiosity to learn. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because the thing is, even though I'm like you say, like you call multi-talented, I'm not an expert of everything. I can do photography and videography, but if you tell me to shoot a movie, I wouldn't be able to, because I'm still kind of new to it. And then coding is something new as well. Real estate, I'm new to it as well. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades but master of none.
But
That saying.
what's the secret to, if people want to become jack? Because in this day and age where we live right now, we have to become somewhat the jack of all trades,
True,
right?
true.
how,
Yeah.
how do people become that so they can easily pivot their skill set in the future? What's the one secret thing that you can share with people based on your experience that helps you a lot?
I think the passion to learn. That's all I can say, man. The passion to learn, and knowing that it's passion to learn and the will to survive. I guess like the world's like this nowadays. No one is actually looking for one guy who excels in one thing and is completely useless in others, right? Yeah. So knowing just that, I think, is sort of, it's like a preparation for you for whatever is to come. Because like I said, no one expected COVID to happen. No one knew we're gonna have back in 2015. No one was gonna say, oh, in 5 years time we're gonna have like this one big pandemic where everyone's just gonna be staying at home. No one's gonna be able to work out as normal as possible. So no one expected this. So that mental preparedness for you, knowing that the world's going to change at any given moment, I think that's sort of like what drove me to really try to learn a lot of things. Yeah. Because it's just the will to survive as well as the passion to learn, I guess. Yeah.
No, that's interesting. One
Yeah.
question I've had though, now that you've been through so many fields, so if you were to ask yourself, okay, coding, photography, real estate, engineering, podcasting, marketing, whichever fields, and you're in all these fields. If you had to choose just one field to focus on for your career for the next 5 years, as in your main career that you think will make the most money, that you think has the biggest opportunity, which career would you choose, whether for work or even for business? Or yeah, which sector is that?
That's actually a good question. I've asked myself that a lot of times. My parents actually have asked me that a lot of times as well. Um, for me personally, I think sales is the best because with engineering, all the other skills that I have, like engineering, videography, and all that, it's all technical skills, if you can say. It's a specialty. It's not something that's generally you're able to use anywhere. But if you're in sales, marketing, those are the kind of skills that's more general. But of course, it's more. It's not. How do I say this? It's not easy, but a lot of people actually has this skill. But when you excel in this, you can literally survive anywhere. You can pitch anything. You can pitch any kind of idea. People, if you manage to sell it, people will buy your idea. You'll go far. You'll go far. Even say if I have videography, but if I don't know how to sell, how to sell myself, how to pitch my ideas, how to pitch my videos and everything, I'm not gonna go anywhere, man. So I think sales and marketing is one of the most useful skill out there. And if I had to choose one for the next 5 years, I'll probably really invest myself in trying to learn sales and marketing because yeah, that's my point there. Yeah.
So interesting, very very good. I think that's a good point you make. I think everyone needs the ability to sell, and that's important. So given that you just said that, if in the next 5 years now you had to literally plan, okay, what's the game plan in the next, even the next 1 to 2 years? What is something that people should be doing to really maximize their income, to survive, to not just survive, but to maximize the income and to really find opportunities? Because now we're all about learning, right? People are learning design, coding, videography, a lot of things. What is the one thing that they can go out there right now and just maximize their income? Because that's what people are lacking now, income. What's your advice for them?
Learning to get online. Yeah, that's the thing. That's one thing I think Malaysians are a bit has been obviously it's not low, slow compared to like our Western counterparts of the world. Just getting everything online, to be honest, like creating websites, doing stuff online on social medias and everything. We are Malaysians as a whole are active on social media, as you've seen recently, but at the same time, it's like there are stuff out there that Malaysians are now starting to use that has been used by people in Western countries for a long time, like the QR code. Like say one good example that I always tell people, like when you go to Nando's now, they don't give you a physical menu. You actually have to scan a QR code and then you order the menu from there. The UK has been using it for the past 5 to 10 years already in bars and pubs and like that, and I've seen that and I've used them. McDonald's, probably in the past recent 2-3 years, yeah, you had to order from, I don't know if you've been to one recently, you had to order from that kiosk thing. The
Yeah.
Western countries have been doing it for the past 10-15 years, probably, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure, don't quote me. Yeah, so all those stuff, all these tech stuff, all this online stuff, that's the thing that people should really get into. One of the biggest market, I think I pitched this to you when we met, you and Derek, is our small hawkers. We have a lot of our small hawkers, these makcik-makcik, uncle, pakcik selling all these like kuih tepi jalan, keropok lekor, the stinky tofus and all that, right? So all these people have the potential for you to market them online if you can find a way to aggregate them. That's actually why I took coding as well, because I was thinking of building an app where you can aggregate all these small hawkers into one app, and then you can just sort of like tell people, hey, you want say if you want keropok lekor or goreng pisang, just set up the app, see where the nearest hawker is, see the reviews from there, boom, there, go ahead, go there. Or you can probably integrate it with like Grab or something, and then grab those food, ask them to deliver from that hawker to your place. So stuff like that, because I think that's the only thing with our society right now in Malaysia. It's like we just have a lot of all these non-online stuff yet. So if you can get them online, I think that's really a business venture out there. Yeah.
No, that's actually sounds like a very good idea, and actually now that you mention it, hey, let's chat more again after this. I really, really, I am very interested to think about that idea.
Mhm.
So coming to Hacker Collective as a community, I mean, what's if you had your vision for the community, I mean, what's in your mind? How can this community be of use to society in Malaysia or to you? What do you think it needs to be, to make an impact?
It's it's going to be the second, for me, in my opinion. I think that the lifelong goal of THC should be like the second place for people to learn. Right now people usually go to, it's more of a specialized kind of learning. What I meant is like nowadays when people say they want to learn a new skill, they usually Google for it, they go to YouTube and everything, right? There's not necessarily a community where people can teach them hands-on. So THCs can probably be that community for them. Usually people have like Facebook groups and everything. That works too. But THC could be something bigger because you guys are more into tech. You guys are more involved with the online stuff. Okay, so like Facebook groups are just like another WhatsApp group where people can just jump in and then chat and then probably learn, by sharing posts or sharing whatever work they've done before. Whereas what THC can do, since you guys are more all techie, you can involve more online stuff. That it can be much more. It's the next step to whatever Facebook group was. That form of learning, of having just that collective of people learning in the Facebook group / WhatsApp group. THC will be the next level of that. You get what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is, how do we get that? That's the hard part, right?
I think it's something not new, but probably new to us. Not new in the sense of probably somewhere out there in the world right now, there's sort of stuff like this already happening. I'm not really aware of it, but since it's really new to us, I think in Malaysians probably, Southeast Asian perhaps, I have no idea. This I think it's um it's something that I think it's worth for you to actually. I'm not really sure how to word this right. It's like something new to discover, I guess. It's um, Facebook group has been there for a long, long time, providing a platform for people to learn stuff and all that. People will always, like for me myself, even when I started doing photography and videography, I've joined like Facebook groups, trying to learn from other people what they've done so far, learning from YouTube and all that. So whereas THC could be the better version of it, the much more advanced version where you can see not just videos or share posts, you can actually be involved in the creative process of it. So the steps to get there, I think it's something new. Not everyone has fully explored yet. So I think that's something that we as a community will probably have to learn together for now. Yeah, but as of right now, what we can actually do is just grow and learn from each other, and somehow along the way build a community where people have all kind of talents who are part of this community who can pass on that knowledge to others. Then I hope I worded that right.
Yeah, I think. I
Yeah, it
think
sounded complex. I'm so sorry if it sounded
no.
complex.
I think you were also trying to figure out the right way to say it because yeah,
Mm.
community itself. I get your idea. It's just now how do we crystallize? How do we make it very clear for people, right? And
True.
even for ourselves, even for me, I'm trying to figure out how to make it clearer. This message, this community, not easy, but I think if we can get there, then it's gonna be a big achievement. We just have to get there. Okay, one more question from me. Now, talking about, let's say, your coding journey, right?
Mm.
You've done a bit of coding with Dagger Collective as well. Actually, what is it like to self-learn coding? You know, what was the challenges, even for people out there? Because we are always reaching out to students all the time, reaching out to people, and people always ask us, oh, what's the experience like? Is it going to be difficult? Is it going to be tough? How much time? So, just share your journey learning to code, and you having a busy schedule as well. What is it like? Just in a brief.
Uh, coding is somewhat like art, I guess. It's really like art. You gotta put the time to learn it. You gotta put the time to develop it. It's not like one day you could draw. You could draw something nice. You usually start somewhere. You um, start by tracing other pictures, um, other drawings, tracing them, making them your own art like that, if you get what I mean. So coding is somewhat like that as well. So it's really a skill that you have to refine over time. It's not something you learn on the spot in one day. You just gotta put effort into it. So you gotta have passion for it. Again, you gotta have passion for it. And you just gotta keep on learning, man. It's not that difficult because it's just at the end of the day, it's just words in a text in a document. At the end of the day, it's
Yep.
just that. Yeah. So you just gotta understand. If you can read, you can code. That's all I gotta say. If you can read, you can code. Yeah, it's easy, but at the same time, it's not that easy. Yeah, it's like art. Anyone can draw. Anyone can draw a stickman on a paper, on a piece of paper. But are you willing to actually make that stickman to a proper art, like how what art is nowadays, whatever it is, like contemporary or minimalistic or whatever. That's how code is, I guess. Yeah, you just gotta learn, go through it, man. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for that. I think that'll be very useful to a lot of people.
Mm.
Now, to everyone watching this video, they're gonna ask, "Hey, you sound like a very dynamic guy. Is there any opportunities that people can reach out to you on, that they can work with you on? Is there anything exciting or anything you want to share with people watching this video, so that any opportunities really that you think people can work with you on or reach out to you on? Anything,
Oh well,
if any."
I, I the one thing that I love doing is just talking to people like this, just like learning from them as well, because no one's a perfect human being. No one knows everything in the world, so that's when you approach people and learn from them. That's why I started the podcast in the beginning, actually, is to learn from others. It's called Kongsi for a reason, actually. It's because you're sharing your stories with other people.
What's it
So
called?
Kongsi.
Where do you get this on?
So it's on all platforms. So it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all that. Just search Kongsi by Fitri and Harith. So that's the title of the podcast. We have a few episodes. We talk to people from all different various backgrounds. We had people who were leaders of an NGO, who were like they started their own business, people who studied in the UK and everything, people who were part of the Black BLM movement. So stuff like that, because nowadays everyone at our age is doing something new, something incredible. So if you have a story, I'm gonna steal this from you, Ming. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna steal
Go ahead.
audiences from you. Yeah. So if you have a story to tell, just hit me up. If you want to work on anything, videography, photography. I did models actually for my photography as well, because I'm trying to grow that skill as well. So if you think you're talented, or if you need photography or videography, hit me up. If you have IT jobs or any mechanical engineering jobs available for me as well, hit me up. Just either podcast, videography, photography. Yeah, that's the three things that I'm probably gonna be more involved in right now. If you need to buy a house as well, hit me up. Yeah. So yeah, just hit me up, man. I'm
Amazing,
on all
amazing.
social medias as Fitri Kushairi. Yeah, you can find me there, man. Shameless plug, but yeah, Ming told me to say that, so
No,
I'm
no, it's
saying it.
good. Look, I think at the end of the day, we really want to build a community, and a community. Seriously, a community is not handled by just one person. A
True,
community is a
true.
group of people, a group of companies, a group of it's a group of different collectives coming together. That's what a community is. It's not a business, and there's no way we can grow a community if it's just run by one person or one organization. So, I feel that's where the strength is. There's no just one leader, and that's what we're desperately trying to do.
Hmm.
But Fitri, one thing I want to ask is, what can people get excited by from you? What's the big vision? Why should they give you their time or their effort if there's a lot of other estate agents or videographers out there? what's the one big vision that you have for yourself that people can go under and say, oh wow, Fitri has this amazing vision for the next 5 years. I want to be part of that. Why you do your podcast, right? What's the reasoning behind all this? Why do you even work so hard? Right? What's the
Oh,
big vision?
what's the big vision? I think um to be honest, that's a big question though. The thing is, I can't really answer that definitely because 5 years from now, no one knows what's gonna happen again. But I would say I'm always up for this. So I think the two things that I really want to do in my life is one, of course, is start something, start even a company, a business, that sort of stuff. That app aggregator was sort of like the idea to venture into that. But at the same time, I think as a human being, not just as somebody, okay, as a human being, as a fellow human being on this planet. This is gonna get really deep. I'm so sorry, people. Um, there's this thing that I truly believe ever since I've heard this quote. Okay, all living things on this planet will only have two things that they're supposed to do. Is they grow old and they either reproduce or pass on knowledge. Okay, so it's either that reproduce or pass on knowledge. So if you're not reproducing, so if viruses in a sense they just reproduce, that's all. Okay, so for human beings, I think I've always believed that whatever you do in life, at the end of that life, you're supposed to pass on whatever you've learned. Okay, so when you have children or when you have a company, you're supposed to pass on whatever you've learned to the next person so that they can grow from that and make the whole world a better place. You get what I mean? I've always believed that. Man. It's like if you live your life doing nothing, not contributing back, you're just wasting your time here as a human being, Yeah. So I've always believed that you're supposed to, pass on
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So that's
No,
what at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
no, that's deep, man. And that's deep. No, but if you phrase it that way, it just makes people think, and you're right. What the heck is everyone doing sitting around? They're wasting air. Look, I mean, okay, people
Hey,
may not like that, but
yeah, like I told you, man. Like everyone, progression is always a self question. If you feel like you yourself are not progressing, then you gotta do something about it. But if you like, oh, today I'm just gonna take a rest, I'm gonna collect my thoughts. Tomorrow I'm gonna start something. Then, dude, that's progress enough. Yeah, as long as you feel like you're progressing every day, that's good enough in my opinion. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Awesome, Fitri. This is really good stuff.
Thanks, man.
We would love to have a chat again. I think we've come to a close.
Sure thing,
Any
no
last
problem.
words for anything?
Keep learning, guys. Stay safe out there. Yeah, just stay safe. That's all I get.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, I'm